Good morning, Slop Nation. Good morning, Slop Nation, and welcome to Slop Chop. This is a new podcast hosted by myself, Harvey Mulvihill. It is about the happenings of the internet, and it is your one-stop shop for slop. Have we, as a society, grown past the need for J. Cole? That is the question that I would like to pose to you sloppers today. Do we need this guy anymore? Have we all outgrown the J. Cole phase? Does anyone like really truly in their heart of hearts still fuck with this guy? He's very high school, you know? Everyone goes through their J. Cole phase. Mine was in high school. 2014, Forest Hills Drive. The other album, the Locker Room one, where he's bald. That stuff's pretty good. But, dude, since then, it's like people talk about Kendrick being kind of corny or on the nose or just kind of not what you're trying to put on. But I have never felt that way about Kendrick, and I have continuously felt that way about J. Cole. And, like, the debate between the two is just, it's not even a conversation to me. It's nowhere. It is like... They are so far from each other in terms of talent. And what do you know? We J. Cole haters have been really we've been eating, man, recently. Because Homeboy just dropped a 2-hour fucking double album. This album that he's been teasing for 5 or 6 years called The Fall Off. I think it's ironic because it ain't no fall off to me. Yeah, right, I guess. But are you just trying to get ahead of it? It's kind of like if you say the thing, like Bo Burnham has a bit about this, where if you get ahead of the criticism by calling yourself that first, then you're immune to that criticism. But that's also kind of cringe doing that, you know? Like, how about just instead of anticipating people calling you a hack, you try not to be a hack, right? Or instead of anticipating people saying that you fell the fuck off, how about you make something interesting? What he's trying to do, and so if J. Cole is one of the big three, as he is fond of saying, which is kind of like the whole thing that started the whole Kendrick Drake beef, that they're the quote unquote big three. For a little history lesson for you sloppers, if you don't remember, on what's the fucking big as the Super Bowl. Big as the what? Big as a Super Bowl. Drake. First-person shooter. On first-person shooter, it was supposed to be Drake featuring J. Cole and Kendrick. And they were going to do, they were the big three, and this is the big three on a fucking track. And then Kendrick politely declined to be on this track because he had a vehement hatred of Drake. Which was, at that time... unknown, or maybe there was some sneak disses or whatever, but it was not it was not as obvious as it is to today. Like, oh yeah, of course Kendrick fucking hates Drake. But anyway, he declined to be on this album, and then he went on the Future track and said there's no big three, it's just Big Me. Okay, that's the whole thing that got this entire ball rolling. I bring it up because J. Cole, as one of the quote-unquote big three, had two other people that he could follow or idolize or try to be like. Okay, he could try to be like Drake, or he could try to be like fucking Kendrick Lamar, right? And it seems to me like he went down the fucking Drake road with this album, bruh. Remember when Drake released the playlist a few years back that he didn't have the nuts to call an album because it was 45 tracks long and 3.5 hours or whatever? He called it a playlist. And we're releasing playlists now and instead of records. This is that, right? This is a double album of just mid. It's the Drake formula. And by the way, Drake has some, For the record, and just to get ahead of this, I have not listened to the entire 2 hours of the J. Cole album because I couldn't stomach it. I gave up about halfway through the first of the 2 albums. Remember, dude, like, this is, I truly, in my heart of hearts, feel like this is the people always use the same argument for movies. Like, everyone's attention span is lower than it's ever been. People are doom scrolling and slop pilled and miserable, and no one can pick up a book or watch a movie because it requires too much mental effort. And like, people are like, well, all that is true, and movies are longer than they've ever been. Yeah, I agree with that, which is, it's odd, it's a conundrum. But no one ever fucking talks about albums and it having the same issue. I cannot be bothered to listen to 2 hours of J. Cole. I just can't. I just don't. It's not in my wheelhouse. I don't have the stomach, the fortitude. I lack it. Sloppers. Is it fair? Have you listened to the albums? Have you listened to them? It sounds like I'm referring to a non-binary album, when in fact I'm just referring to the fact that he released 2 at the same time. A bold choice to release this much fucking mid, just packed together. How about instead of this, cut 75% of the output and make it all great? Because, dude, I guess maybe he's just hungry for money and he hasn't released anything in a while, so he needs a couple buckaroos, but I feel like you could make oodles and goodles of money by touring, and that you do not need the streams to support your income, J. Cole, right? Don't you have Jay-Z's phone number in your iPhone right now? I just don't see that as didn't you sign JID? I don't know. I just can't imagine that you're hurting for cash. But then again, this is the Drake formula. The Drake formula is like, oversaturate the market. Release as much music as possible, because therefore people will eventually come around to it, or eventually find it, or it will end up on some sort of a playlist because there's so much of it. There's just so much of it. How could we not add it to our weekly Spotify roundup playlist? You know, that's the idea, or that's what I've heard is the idea for releasing this much music, like quantity over quality, is because of streaming. Streaming numbers equal success and quote unquote albums sold now. Like Michael Jackson Thriller sold 10 million albums or whatever, or 50 or whatever the number is. But no one's buying albums anymore. Everyone's streaming them. So you gotta change the way that you calculate how well an album does. And I think for some reason streaming works differently. So if I listen to all 3.5, what is it, 4, 5? It's like the Brutalist. It's like, is it intermission? If I listen to all 6.5 hours of this J. Cole project, that equates to like 5 Kanye West Yeezuses. Or alternatively, more relevant recent example, the new Joji album, which I am enjoying for the most part. I haven't sunk my teeth into it, but I'm enjoying it. So just quantity, dude. Just fill it. Just fill the market with sounds, audio. You don't really super need any particular song structure or interesting kind of chord development. You kind of just need words and beats and sounds. Generic, easily digestible, boring. Every once in a while, you got to peak your audio to make a point. I don't know. I just can't be bothered. And also another interesting thing is the reaction to this album. Reactions are pretty mixed, brother. If you go on to X.com, the everything app, everyone and their mother is shitting on J. Cole. Which is why I love Twitter. Because they're hateful. They're hateful and spiteful and mean over there. on X.com, the everything app. And they're pretty much universally shitting on this thing and calling it boring, which I wholeheartedly agree with. But then if you go to Reddit, if you go over to reddit.com/r/hiphopheads, go to hiphopheads. I just perused the album release thread because, you know, I'm interested in what people are saying. I do feel like I have to justify to use sloppers every time that I use the website Reddit. I have to give you some explanation. Because my brand is not Reddit. My brand is so anti-Reddit at this point that I feel I owe you an explanation when I venture on to this hellscape of a website. Good God Almighty, nothing makes me feel like Reddit does, like scrolling through reddit.com. But anyway, it's beside the point. Sometimes I get lost. Sometimes I get lost within myself when I think of that fucking little orange alien. But anyway, you go to Hip Hop Heads and they seem to like it, bro. They seem to like it. They were glazing a couple of songs. They really like the future feature. That's kind of fun, huh? Alliteration, sounds similar, almost rhymes. That's something. I'm writing that one down. Blah, 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 blah. But yeah, they seem to like it, which is shocking to me. Typically, the whole internet is usually on the same page about a thing, but leave it to Reddit to be on the wrong side of history. They've done it before and they'll do it again, by gosh. By golly, they've done it before and they will do it again. So, you know, I don't know, like sloppers on this topic, slopic. I am extraordinarily curious your take. There's a lot of good music coming out recently. I've heard good things about the ASAP album. I haven't dived into that either. It's a tough, I don't know, dude. I'm also just not the arbiter. I'm a bad music listener. But, dude, come to think of it, it's very similar to books for me. Where for me, it's work to listen to new music. It doesn't feel fun and easy. Like it comes naturally to some people. For me, it feels like work. Like I am diverting what I would like to be doing, and instead I am listening to the new J. Cole album. Okay, so it's like cracking open a book instead of doom scrolling. It really does feel that way, which isn't fair, you know. My problem with it is that I can never find a good time to just have some tunes on. It's a bizarre thing in my life, and I can't imagine that many or any of you will relate to this. I'm just a unique little butterfly. No, I don't. If I'm too fucking stupid to listen to music when I'm doing work of any kind. Like on a computer, I have to turn the music off to lock in to edit or whatever. And then when I'm like doing housework or folding laundry, I want a podcast because that's entertaining. I don't know, like I'm already doing work. I want my brain to be off of the work. And instead I'm like, if I'm playing music, I'm working twice. I'm working to care about this music that I'm listening to. And also working by folding the underwear. It's a stupid thing. Again, probably not the most relatable. I have trouble finding where to plug it in. And this is the only place that I've found. I have found the car. You guys heard about this? You drive, and then while you're driving, you can listen to music. Pretty good. Pretty good. So I've been doing that. But that doesn't leave much. I'm not driving too much. It's like I'm driving to work and back. And no, that's it. That's the only place I go. I was like, well, no. That's actually simply, truly the only place that I ever drive. And again, my in my core heart of hearts, I go straight to pods every time I get in the car. I open YouTube and I go to my podcast playlist. But that's we're trying to grow here, okay? So I'm like, no, it's time for a little bit of growth. And I'll listen to 20 minutes of an album, and I'll go, and then I'll promptly forget about it. And then on the way home, all my snap impulse to open YouTube and go to podcasts will happen. And usually I will have forgotten about the album at that point. What I'm trying to get at is that it feels like work. And maybe one day I'll come around and there will be like, oh God, this is just reminding myself of a previous conversation I've had on this very podcast with a friend of mine who told me, like, yeah, dum-dum, that's what happens when your brain gets sad, is you want to distract yourself with easily listenable, digestible podcasts all the time. You don't want to expand your brain with like new music. Fuck. But I feel pretty good though. I'm not depressed. I'm not entirely sure what the deal is, but I've had this, dude, since I discovered podcasts, and I get fucking insecure about my music, my lack of music consumption. And like I have music friends who that's what they're into. And you better believe I'm not pulling up to the function bumping J. Cole. Just not going to do it. I'm not going to be like, yeah, you guys heard the new you guys heard that new Cole, man? I don't know, it just seems like he is in a different. So Kendrick is in a different realm, different hip hop realm, but he's interesting. But Kendrick, so Kendrick dabbles with the popular sounds, but the stuff that he's doing that is not of a popular nature is very interesting. And he's clearly extremely intelligent and knows not how to write cornball shit. It just comes down to cheese for me, truly. Where he's just a bit of a cheese puff, this J. Cole fella. He's a bit of a cheese puff. He writes kind of Eminem tier lyrics. First draft kind of cringy, yep, okay, we get it. That type of lyric. And it's difficult for me to put into words what exactly it is, but you know it when you smell it. So I'm not a fan. I don't know. I'm not a fan. I used to be a fan, but I'm not a fan anymore. And I guess he's still J. Cole. I guess it really does feel like he's just washed at this point. He's fucking washed, bro. It is over for this man. Call a whirl. So shouts out to J. Cole and your month-long playlist that you've released entitled The Fall Off. I don't think I will ever finish the whole thing. Whatever songs rise to the top of the thing that people seem to like, I will listen to those. But I can't stomach the entirety of this album. These albums. I just can't do it. Am I wrong on this? Am I off on this? Are there any Cole slobbers in the Slop army? Do you guys fuck with this man still? Are you over the age of 16? Matter of fact, 16-year-olds are not listening to fucking J. Cole. It's only like my age people who have the nostalgia of when they were 16. So never mind. If you're 16 and you're listening to J. Cole, I don't want to be friends with you. You can sit at the other lunch table. You can sit at the one with the fucking dweebs. I don't know. No hate to Cole, or actually, hate to Cole. I was gonna say the opposite, but true. You know, in my I got nothing but negative things to say about this man. So hate to Cole. Oh, I hate to Cole, but I'm needing a favor. Kendrick's just so much more just so much more interesting. it is so funny to me that people had this discussion with like Kendrick versus Drake. It's fucking that's wild. It's wild. So anyway, fuck you, J. Cole. Kill yourself. Speaking of music, did you guys see that the Grammys were this week? Hey, dude, the Grammys were this week. Let's talk about Hot Ones. I want to talk about Hot Ones again because I'm fascinated by it, and also because it fucking fell off. They fell off. It's over, dude. It is over. They had MrBeast on Hot Ones this week. MrBeast himself, 2 days ago. Less than 1 million views. Remember when this show was something? Remember when this show was something? And this is like it was, I guess it's still part of the press tour. It's actually just, that's all it is now. It's just part of the press tour. You go do fucking Jimmy Kimmel and then you go do Hot Ones. It used to be like the niche, interesting internet show. And now it's just fucking normie. Has the quality dipped? It feels like it has. It feels like it's way too corporate now and just generally disinteresting. I don't find a fucking thing interesting about this show anymore, man. It's just too corporate. You know what I think? Okay, here's a theory for you. Or a thought experiment for you sloppers. Did Hot Ones start getting bad when they added the second table? It used to be one small round table that they would do the interview over, and they were like 1.5 feet away from each other. Sean and his guest. And now there's 2 tables. And they're 6 feet away from each other. It's just not as intimate. It looks kind of weird. I never liked the double table thing, but also it is like a direct correlation. When they added the double table, they did it because of COVID. They added the double table, and then like shortly thereafter, the show started just getting shit. And I think it's the table's fault. The table fucked the pooch on this one, man. You lose the intimacy when you are try having an intimate conversation with someone when you're fucking 10 feet away from them. You can't do it, man. You got to bring them close. I think that's it. And also, I think it really does read like every question is now pre-screened by the PR team and approved by the manager and the agent. There's just nothing really hard-hitting like there used to be. The show was built upon the gimmick of hot sauce, hot questions, and even hotter wings, right? 'Twas the gimmick from the beginning, where you had like tougher questions, and once you like got your celebrities, once you got them on their back foot with the hot sauce, you can like hit them with a personal question, and they'd be down to answer it because their inhibitions have lowered. It's like a roofie, you know? But it doesn't seem like, they figured out that most people don't watch the whole video. So the publicists were like, how about we put every single time, every first question will be about the project that I'm here promoting. Because that's the question that people are most likely to listen to, because people click off the fucking video before they get to question 2. So I want to talk about Beast games, and therefore my first question will be about Beast games. So that's like, that's already boring. I'm fucking bored. I don't care about your project. I'm here to listen to, interesting things about you. What makes you tick, MrBeast? What makes you roll out of bed in the morning? Number go up? That is what it is, for sure. We've cracked the code. We've cracked the code. We know what makes Jimmy Beast tick. But dude, like so many takeaways from this interview. One, the show's boring as fuck now. I remember being a real hateful son of a bitch on this episode. I don't think it's gonna stop. I'm just in that kind of a mood. I'm gonna be shitting on things this entire episode. I don't think I have. No, that's not true. I will be championing an act shortly. I'm very excited to dive into our next slopic, but first we must trudge through the Hot Ones discussion that we've had 7 times before on this podcast. Listen, I'm interested in this, and you should be too. Hot Ones was a fucking institution, dude. A goddamn institution. And they fell the fuck off, brother. They fell off. And I'm fascinated by a fall off. Because clout is so elusive and sought after. It's just like it's a fascinating thing to devote your life to. And then when you achieve it, it's so fickle, man. It just falls through your fingertips so quickly. It's here for a day, bro. And then you're just back on the shelf with the other wannabes. Even worse than that, you're a has-been, brother. And nothing is worse than being, well, no, never was. Never was is in fact worse than being a has-been. Has-beens can have second waves and reinvent the formula. Or just, guest on podcasts who think that their old stuff is interesting. So has-been is definitely better than never was. But as a matter of fact, everyone that plays this game will eventually be a has-been. There's no one that makes it. You're just trying to extend the length of time in the spotlight as long as possible. And it seems like Hot Ones was fucking bulletproof for the longest because they were the cool underdog. They had genuine passion behind the scenes in Sean Evans and his team. They gave a shit. They studied their asses off. They continue to do that, I'm sure. But it's for some reason, it's not coming through. Maybe they just kind of were resting on their laurels. I remember he did an interview, Sean Evans, with another podcast where they were not eating wings. And he was like, yeah, dude, if I have a director coming on, I'm going to watch every single one of their movies and take notes. If I have an artist coming on, I'm going to listen to every single one of their albums and take notes. Like if I have a fucking blah, 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 like he really dives into their work, learns as much as he possibly can about them, and comes at them with really insightful, interesting questions. And it just seems like he's gotten lazy I can't blame him for being lazy, because that sounds like a lot of work. You got a fucking thing coming out every week. You got a new episode coming out every week, and you're doing that much research. It's got to be a pain in the ass. Sounds like a pain in the ass. But it was worth it because you had the heart of the internet in your hand for quite some time, dude, for years. And you had some really amazing classic interviews. Key and Peele, Eric Andre, TJ Miller. Another good sign of the times fall off for me was that first Eric Andre episode is legendary and amazing. And then he came on again during COVID to do a Zoom interview. And it's the most boringest. It's a useless episode where nothing of value is exchanged, added, subtracted, exchanged in any way. An absolute dud. And then, that's just kind of like the MO from that point forward. Gordon Ramsay's a great episode. I think that was post-COVID, to be fair. So every once in a while, that's got to be their most popular one, right? Let's find out. Yeah. No. Gordon Ramsay was pre-COVID. So Gordon Ramsay, fucking killer episode. Their most popular episode on the show. Great stuff. A lot of their most popular episodes are very good. Do you remember when these fuckers were doing 100... They were never doing 100 million views consistently. They were never MrBeast. But they were doing 30 to 50, 20 to 30, consistently 20 to 30 million fucking views an episode. And it's just so far from that now. Less than 1 million for Mr. Beast. Can you imagine if Mr. Beast posted a video on his main channel or any of his channels, his fucking philanthropy channel, and got less than 1 mil? He would delete. He would first change the title and the thumbnail 100 times each. 100 times to trick the people that have already watched it into rewatching it, and also just try to get more eyeballs on it by being, as algorithmically in tune as possible, which he is, of course, the king of. But if none of that worked, and he's going to sleep with the video having been posted that morning, and it's got less than 1 million views, he's deleting it. Because it's a stain on his record. It's like an embarrassment, bro. It makes people think that you've fallen off. But yeah, dude, it's crazy. The Mr. Beast episode of Hot Ones is bombing. It really is just like the tide has shifted, dude. Mr. Beast is still the most popular YouTuber on planet Earth, and his videos do crazy numbers. But even he could not bring the internet back to Hot Ones. I was struck by many things listening to this most recent episode of First We Feast's Hot Ones. One of which being, it's crazy that Hot Ones fell off. And two of which being, is this man, Jimmy Donaldson Beast, is he some sort of a skinwalker, or is he just on the spectrum? It sucked to have Crohn's and be autistic. Like, choose one. Fucking give me both. Crohn's and autism? Yeah, but you'll be the richest, most famous human being on the planet. Okay. Not worth it still. Not worth it. Not worth it. If you had to choose one, would you choose Crohn's or Asperger's? You're not allowed to kill yourself. I'm just kidding. We love our people with Crohn's and Asperger's. But only if you have both. If you have one or the other, you can go fuck yourself. Yeah, so I think he's just on the spectrum maybe, but he has no ability to do this sort of thing. He can edit around himself being a guy. He can like sort of act like a guy when he can control the edit, and he can do 15 different takes of each line. He sort of seems like a human being when you do that. I asked 100 old fucking people and 17 babies to compete against this. Yeah, that like he can do that very well. My favorite thing he does. Don't forget, because at every 15 to 45 seconds, don't forget. At the end of this video, we're doing this. Don't forget, we're giving away $1 million to the look. Like, he knows every single point when the viewership just drips downward a bit. When people start to get uninterested and click off, they go, wait, hold that thought. He has played. He plays. He has beaten the game. He is the most successful YouTuber for a reason. But there's no soul. There's no life in his eyes. And I worry for Jimmy Beast. Don't you? Don't you worry for the guy a little bit? I don't really worry for him. But I do think he's an odd case study. Where it does seem, by all accounts, he's a pretty nice human being. He's generous and he treats his people well. So people that work with him like him. He's not like a Trump or something where literally every human who's ever worked with or for him hates him. No, quite the opposite. People like him, but he just seems like a soulless sort of devil fruit. Devil fruit? He just seems like a sort of soulless corporate shell who's there to sell you chocolate bars and get you to watch more YouTube videos. Get you to watch a couple minutes more of the YouTube video that you're watching. He's not satisfied with you just clicking on the video. He needs their attention time. He wants you to stick around. So, it's just odd. He's just a fucking odd duck, that MrBeast. What's interesting is like, okay, so YouTube is like the counterculture sort of response to Hollywood originally. And Hollywood people kind of hate because it's full of actors who are fake as fuck and they look right through you and they're climbing the ladder and they have no personalities. They are simply just shells of humans. And people were like, gross. We want people that we can connect with. We want people who can talk straight into camera and I learn a little bit about them and their personal lives, and maybe they walk around the city and they have a cool drone shot. That was kind of the promise of YouTube. And then come to find out that the most popular YouTuber of all time is essentially a Hollywood actor who has mastered the art of selling you what you're watching, proving to you that you are watching something of value. And he does not have a personality. He is absolutely devoid of any soul or swag or riz. He's got none of it. He's just famous, very famous, extraordinarily famous, and rich beyond comparison. He's in the 3 Comic Club. Or if he's not, he doesn't have like liquid. He doesn't have a Billy liquid. He's got it in stock options and fucking whatever. The value of Beast is absurd. Absurd. How cool would it be to be like Chandler, the hot friend, or the other one, the trans lady who got fired for being a pedo or whatever? How cool would it be to just be a friend of this guy? You are kind of locked into a contract forever. Not a literal contract, but like I know MrBeast and we grew up together and we're pretty friendly. So therefore this is my life. What I would like to do is go repair automobiles because that's what my father did. But instead, I'm just an extra in MrBeast's world. And they film constantly and they always have 7 productions running at the same time. And I'm never alone. I'm always in front of a camera. But he pays me so goddamn well that it's like golden handcuffs. What a wild existence. To be friend of Beast. Friend of Beast. Isn't it also interesting, sloppers, bear with me here, that his whole thing is Beast? And like, I'm shocked the fucking Satan moms haven't attacked this man. Mark of the Beast, like Beast of the Wild, sacrificing the fucking, perhaps Jimmy is spreading the message. The mark. He's spreading the mark. And what the devil would like you to do is buy Feastables. Perhaps he's poisoning. He's like, he put like anti-reproduction like spermicide, but in tiny amounts in every Feastables bar. And it's like this compound that once you ingest it, it never leaves your system. And like slowly over time, it builds within your urethra. That's right. Your urethra. That's right. And then eventually it'll just prevent the jizz from coming out. It'll like plug it up. Or it's like a mesh fabric where pee comes out fine, but no cum. Cum just goes straight back into the balls. It rejects it. That's what you're eating every time you eat a Feastables. And typically I would say allegedly so as not to get sued, but in this instance, I'm so confident that I'm correct, that I won't even bother. I know for sure that's what's happening to you when you eat a Feastables chocolate bar, or you drink a Beast juice, prime KSI Beast juice. How crazy is it also that he's like 5 channels? He has 5 channels, and they're all like, I want to say 3 of them have over 100 million subscribers. What a crazy, crazy thing. Is it kids? It's always just kids, right? You're like, who's watching this shit? Oh, that's right, it's kids. If it's weird or off-putting and kind of questionable, and it's on YouTube, and it has millions and millions of views, it's children. Children do not know that what they're watching is garbage. Is MrBeast garbage? I don't know if that's fair. It's certainly slop of some kind. It's satisfaction slop, or entertainment. Entertainment's too broad. Satisfaction slop, maybe, where it is satisfying to see the guy do the thing. It's interesting to see the guy accomplish the goal, or the lady eat 100 rubber bouncy balls, or MrBeast fill up a pool with Orbeez and dive headfirst and drown to death. Suffocate. It isn't drowning, you're right. It's suffocation, because it's Orbeez. So yeah, maybe satisfaction slop is what we'll dub Beast and his empire. I am kind of interested in Beast games on Amazon just to see how ridiculous it gets and like what they can do. Like, their budgets are already absurd. So what are you going to do when you have Amazon money to spend? That'd be interesting, I think. He does one thing that I like, that I think is cool. Him and Red Letter Media are the only 2 YouTube channels that do this. Where if they have a very famous guest on, or in this case, like MrBeast will have Gordon Ramsay or Shaq or insert world famous person here. They are not mentioned in the title. They are not mentioned in the thumbnail. Neither. They are in neither place. It's so funny. It's like burying the lead to a crazy degree. Where, of course, like, if you were looking for views, or if you, or maybe he's, I don't know, because he is looking for views and he doesn't have a conscience. So what is it? Is it just a flex? You're like, yes, I have Barack Obama in my fucking feeding 800 Norwegian toddlers. Barack Obama's here also. I forgot to mention him in the title, but yes, the former president of the United States is also here. Is it a flex? Or is it like calculated? It's probably just algorithm information where he's learned that putting that shit in the title actually doesn't help, or he's so popular that like it might actually turn people away in some fashion, where people see that you have Elvis Presley in your fucking video and they go, oh, this is like an Elvis video, and they don't click on it. But if they don't know Elvis is in the fucking video, they'll click on it and they'll go, oh shit, Elvis is here. Okay, I'm already watching it. Might as well just continue. Jimmy Beast. By the way, I'm excited to announce my guest for next week will be MrBeast. It will be the most viewed video on my YouTube channel by a wide margin, and it will have like 1,200 views. And people will go, Jesus Christ, MrBeast fell the fuck off, huh? 1,200 views on Slop Chop only? So shouts out to Hot Ones, I suppose. Shouts out to Jimmy. Anything else I have to say about these two? Lovely. I do think Sean Evans is a genuine sweetheart, and seems like he actually truly gives a shit, even if it doesn't shine through in the final product as of late. He just needs a readjustment, and that could totally happen, bro. He could totally have a second wind figure out how to regain the steam. He's absolutely... They're branching out on the channel, the Feastables, whatever. Feastables, fuck. We're back on Beast World. No. First we feast. Holy shit. Maybe that's why MrBeast collaborated. Because he was like, we both have that in the names of our thing. Of our thing. You know? Maybe that's why. Anywho. Okay, onward. Onward, sloppers, to something that I'm excited to talk about. This will not be a shit talking segment. This will be a segment full of joy, laughter, and glee. Because the Winter Olympics are happening right now in somewhere. They're happening in a place. Paris, maybe? I don't fucking know. Does anyone give a shit about the Winter Olympics? Does anyone care? Does anyone give a fucking shit about this? Where are they? Milan. They're in Milan. Yeah, so they're in Italy. Americans be like, Olympics every 4 years. Sure. Olympics every 2 years? No. Olympics every 4 years? Shot put. Figure skating. Interesting. Gymnastics. Soccer. Sounds good to me. Olympics every 2 years. Skiing. Sledding. Curling. It does seem boring and less important, and also less sports. It seems less sports than the real Olympics, just because it's cold. You know, this is like the new fucking Ghostbusters movie where it's just Ghostbusters Afterlife but cold this time. I'm like, I don't give a shit about this. Do you? Do you guys give a shit? Yeah, maybe this is mean. Maybe I am coming down too hard on our Winter Olympics, my brethren in the Winter Olympics who are flying on their skis. And that's exactly what I would like to talk about here tonight, sloppers. It is about the ski jumping event and something that the fucking hold on. I gotta find the New York Times. This is from the New York Times. I thought this was like a parody, or maybe not a parody, but just like a much less prestigious kind of New York Post. The New York Post to the New York Times. One word difference. Vast difference in subject matter, right? The New York Times is where real ass stories get broken. And here they are reporting. Reports have surfaced before the Winter Olympics that allege ski jumpers are injecting their penises with hyaluronic acid to fly farther. The World Anti-Doping Agency has vowed to investigate. This is so awesome. Okay, so hyaluronic acid, I looked it up. It's like a filler thing. So I heard the word acid and I said, "Oh, doesn't that like eat you? Doesn't that like burn you up?" So this is a totally different thing. This is not like hydrochloric acid. This is a hyaluronic, which you put in like butt filler. It's like what BBLs have this shit in there. So it's a thing that people inject in their bodies, right? And the thinking for like, you're like, okay, so what's the you're like, all right, but if you don't know the story, think to yourself quickly, how could it possibly be beneficial for a ski jumper? How could it possibly be beneficial for a ski jumper to have a giant hog? How could that benefit them? Will they use the hog for drift? Like, does it like fucking fly behind them in between their legs? Do they go naked? Is surface area on your body important? It turns out, yes, but not exactly. So surface area on your body is extremely important in this sport. And it is determined by like a 3D body scanner and a medical professional, an unbiased, presumably from some country that doesn't have a showing. A medical professional and a fucking 3D body scanner will scan every centimeter of you and will determine exactly the size of fucking suit that you get for this long jump. I keep saying long jump. Long jump is in the real Olympics. This is a ski jump in the cold Olympics. The ski jumpers all have this like raccoon bodysuit that's like super, super tight to their body. Even 1% more fabric in this suit can lead to like a 5% increase in total distance flown, because you're gliding like a fucking whatever those goddamn godforsaken animals are called. My brother always said that he wanted one of those animals. What are they called? They're little rats that fly and piss everywhere. They piss and shit all over the place because you can't potty train them, which makes them quite possibly the worst idea for a pet that I've ever heard. Sugar gliders. Sugar gliders. Yeah, dude. So instead of flying around like a pissing and shitting sugar glider, you're supposed to fly like a human on skis. But you have to have some sort of protective covering, and they have to standardize it because people would just be wearing the baggiest clothes possible to get some drift, right? So they have to standardize it, and they have to measure every quarter centimeter of your fucking body, including your hog. So these geniuses at the ski academy or wherever fucking place they go to do the thing in Milan, they decide, wait a minute, no one can tell that my hog no one's gonna say shit if I come into the measuring thing and my freaking dick is like a pool noodle sausage. If it's like 1.5 feet long and thicker than this microphone, right? No one's gonna fucking... They can't say shit. Yeah, dude, I got a big dick. What about it? Right? But if you have like, some protrusion from your thigh, A, that's gross, whereas a big dick is pretty cool. And B, they'd be like, what's that? What's going on with your... Are those... Are those needle marks in your thigh protrusion? But no one's going to look that hard at your dick. And no one's going to say shit. So therefore, we should make our penises as big as possible, so as to gain a couple of extra fucking centimeters in the crotch area, which happens to be the most like air catchy place on your body when you're flying through the air on skis. Probably. It probably catches a ton of air. And again, even if you're buying 3 to 5%, these people are the best in the world. So 3 to 5% is pretty fucking good. It's potentially game changing. It's potentially gold medal winning. And then you and your giant hog can fly home victors, the both of you. And you get to go home and you get the gold medal, and your dick gets a little, like a smaller version of the same gold medal. They give one to you and one to your cock. It's beautiful. So God love these pioneers, truly taking cheating to an entirely new level. I can't, body modification to cheat at the Olympics. And again, the Olympics that no one gives a fuck about. The winter, the cold one. The cold one that happens every 2 years, and we're like, didn't we just do the Olympics? I guess that was the real one. This is the chilly one. To really, really, truly care. Is Shaun White the last celebrity that came out of the Winter Olympics 20 years ago? Has there been one since him? I don't think so. But yeah, dude, it'd be fucking very cool. Speaking of which, could send me a vial of this shit, please. I'd love to tinker around with this mixture, this elixir. And yeah, I want to read this real quick. In the quest for Olympic gold, professional athletes endure hardships that might seem unfathomable to most of us mere mortals. But do those links extend to ski jumpers injecting their penises with hyaluronic acid in order to fly further? This is the question. The World Anti-Doping Agency will investigate. How do you investigate this situation? World Anti-Doping Agency. Let me see that fucking cock. Let me see it. You flew 4% faster than you normally do. 3% further from the starting line. I bet your cock is full of acid. I bet that dick is chock full of hyaluronic acid. Let me see it. I need to see it. For real, how do you test them? I think you just pull their pants down, make them pull their pants down, take a look. And if it's normal looking, you say, all right, and you smack them on the bare ass. And you say, get on your way there, sir. Thanks for coming. But if it looks fucking wonky and malshapen and strange, then you somehow have to prove that it hasn't been that way since birth. You have to go back to every previous romantic partner and ask them how the cock was. Excuse me, sir, ma'am. How was that guy's dick? Was it weird? Yeah, I'm really glad that someone has finally asked me this, because I didn't have the heart to tell my friends. I was really embarrassed, and it was lumpy. It was lumpy and multicolored and kind of misshapen, big on one side and small on the other, and I still sucked it. I still sucked it dry. But, realistically speaking, hyaluronic acid, if you start testing for that shit, be like, no, dude, I got lip filler. I'm gay. They said it was Botox. It must have been that shit. I'm gay as fuck, and I got the acid in my fucking. I wanted Kylie Jenner lips to better suck cock with. Cut that. Yeah, but this is called Penis Gate. This developing story, and sloppers, I got to tell you, I'm glued. I'm glued to the screen. I hope that they are constantly updating us on Penis Gate, interrupting every 5 to 7 minutes during the Olympic broadcast and telling us what the status of these cocks is. What is the status of these hogs? We need a committee. I want a fucking Oppenheimer style roundtable committee discussing these hogs and what can be done about them. What must we sacrifice in order to get the truth about these cocks? Common courtesy out the window. General dignity gone. Privacy forgotten. We gotta get to the bottom of these hogs. God damn it. I need to know if these fucking people are injecting their genitalia with acid. I gotta know if they're doing that or not, just so they can fly a little further in a ski jump. What could possibly be less important? Is there anything less interesting? Nah, sure there is. Curling's much less interesting. All right, fair enough. But again, you only get 3 celebrities out of the real Olympics a year, and celebrity's a stretch. You only get like 1 real celebrity out of the Olympics a year. You get 2 or 3 that like are like, you know, they're big names because they're winning a lot and they're whatever. They get the medal and they come back and they get 1 Wheaties box. They sign a deal with Nike and then everyone fucking forgets about them in a month because this is the most bizarre human practice we have. The Olympics. It's everyone gets real patriotic every 4 years, not every 2. No. Every 4 years. It's just enough time to forget and come around to the idea of the new one. If it was annual, it would have been dead by now. No one gives a fuck that hard. How crazy is it that it's coming to the US next year? No, that's the World Cup. Fuck. Wait, is it the Olympics also? Maybe a schmeckle of research would be good. You think? No. Surely not. Surely not. Surely just stream of consciousness babble is what you're all here for. I slammed my fucking glue stick. I have a glue stick on my desk. I slammed it onto my desk to make a point about the hogs from earlier. Remember the hogs that we were discussing? I slammed it on my desk and I scared my dog, and now she's terrified and she's in between my legs because she thinks I'm scared. I'm just mad. I'm not mad. I'm energized. I'm ecstatic, sloppers, at the prospect. Blown away that this is a real headline. We must get to the bottom. We must get to the bottom of this situation. And I encourage the anti-doping agency of the world to spare no expense. We must learn. We must learn. I expect photographs. I expect photographs on my desk of these penises. I need every goddamn one of them. Of these Olympic athletes. I need photos of their dicks, and I need them now. Let's see it. I'll do the research myself. I'll volunteer. The gayest guy on the planet Earth. Demanding Olympic athletes show them pictures of their dicks. Is that what this all? This is the whole thing. The whole story is just some fruit. Some gay guy in the World Doping Agency who's like, I got a theory. I think they're injecting their penises. Let's take a look, shall we? I think just general doping is not sexy enough. Or he got off to like steroids you used to like, maybe you still put them in your butt. You put, not in your butt, but you like inject them into your butt cheek. And that he was like, he got off on that for a while. That was pretty hot. Pretty hot. But then, you know, you grow tired of that. It gets old. It gets boring. And then you graduate to injecting acid into your penis. Anyway, I wish these fine gentlemen nothing but the best. I think it is hilarious what you're doing, and I would encourage you to continue. Even if you are if these fucking feds at the World Anti-Doping Agency, if these fucking narcs want to ruin your fun, you tell them to take it up with me. You tell them to come knock on my door. I'll have a word with these folk. Say no, it's not for any monetary or professional athletic gain. No, 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 no. It's simply for the love of having a big old hog in between your legs. That's what it's all about, baby. And please send me a vial. What have I been watching? What have I been watching, Sloppers? I'm glad you asked. I rewatched, as a matter of fact, I've only let's leave that in, just for fun. Slops, I watched one movie this week, and I one season of a television show. I have so much shit on my watch list, brother. I have thousands of movies, hundreds of shows, at least dozens of shows, tons and tons and tons of shit that I should be watching, allegedly. And instead, I decided to rewatch Andor. I just couldn't stay away. I forgot what it was exactly that brought me back. I was just thinking about it a lot, and then I realized that I don't think there's ever been a show, except for maybe Better Call Saul. No, yeah, it's like those two are like the most emotionally attached to a show I've ever been. Where like I love Breaking Bad and I loved Thrones back in the day. But I don't know if I was emotionally attached. Like Andor makes me so fucking, it like gets me to the, cuts to the core of me, you know? So I rewatched the whole first season this week. And I'm excited to watch the second season this week again. Because it's one of the best things ever created by a human. I'm trying to think of, I will not spoil it. I don't even want to get into plot because, oh, dude, I got to tell you, one of my friends who I have I've been glazing Andor since I first started watching it, just to anyone who will listen. And I'm like, brother, I get this. I get that it's Star Wars. I understand that it's Star Wars. You have to understand. I don't give a fuck about Star Wars either. I'm on your same page. I don't give a fuck. It doesn't even cross my mind truly. When people start talking about the nitty gritty of Star Wars, brother, it makes me want to leave. I don't enjoy those conversations at all. I like the big picture stuff. I like that it's interesting. I think it's interesting that Disney fucked the pooch so hard on the sequel trilogy. That's interesting. As far as like just the media itself, though, I enjoy the Force Awakens. That's a good movie. But that's about where my interest stops. Don't give a fuck about The Mandalorian. We'll probably go watch the movie. I don't know. The Mandalorian versus Groglet. Anyway. Yeah, Star Wars just couldn't give a fuck about. But I'm telling you, I understand. I'm with you. But I'm telling you that Andor is just the greatest thing. It's just the greatest fucking thing. And my friend who does not watch television, who actually I was speaking, it's the same friend from earlier, who told me that I should stop listening to fucking podcasts and start listening to music. That guy, Michael, been on this podcast. He was like, Harvey, guess what I've been watching? I was like, I don't know if I can know Andor. He's like, yeah. I was like, no fucking way. He's like, dude, it's so good. I'm like, yeah, it is. It is so good. This is the best when someone finally breaks down and watches it, because I think it's tough to be disappointed by Andor. Anyway, shouts out to Andor. I love you dearly. I've added you to the set. Sloppers, look here. Forever immortalized on the Slop Chop set. Andor Season 1 on 4K UHD. The Steelbook. All right, yeah. So shouts out to Andor. The only other thing that I've watched this week, Slops, Avengers Infinity War. I rewatched it with a couple of groups of friends of mine. This is still, I think, my favorite Marvel movie. We watched it on my buddy's giant home theater system. So pretty great quality, awesome sound. It's great. It's fucking great. I don't know. I think it's just like this is the third or fourth time that I've seen it, and the cracks start to show a lot more when the surprise is no longer there. And it is incredibly tightly written. It is beautifully edited. Genuinely, I think both of those things are extremely true. I love that every new character they introduce gets a little moment. Every single character that they introduce, you get like a little moment, and it's the coolest thing. Wow, the letterbox poster for this movie is really bad. Holy shit, this is like toddler tier Photoshop. Wow. I'm gonna post this in the episode. That was distracting. Jesus Christ! Look at Vision. Look at War Machine. My God. Spider-Man just floating in midair like that? Looks horrible. Okay. Anyway, yeah, Thanos is still an incredible villain, and the story is still incredibly good. I love that Thanos thinks that he's right, and you can sort of get behind where his head's at. It's not just that he's evil for the sake of evil. All of these thoughts have been said before numerous times. What were my new takeaways, Harvey? Good point. Let's cut to the chase. The chase is this. This is directed by Anthony and Joe Russo, the Russo brethren, who are also directing these next two Avengers movies. 2? Did you say 2? Did you mean 3? Yes, that's right. There is a rumor that Infinity War, what the fuck is it called? The Secret Wars? There's a rumor that it's going to get divided into 2 movies. So we're going to have Doomsday this year, and then it sucks that they're both war. Secret Wars Part 1, and then Part 2. And they are waiting to see how Doomsday does to greenlight the double movie idea, which is very funny because it means they have 2 movies worth of shit, and they're going to cram it all into one movie if this one doesn't do well. I'm kind of grossed out by the nostalgia bait trailers. It reeks of desperation in a way that most trailers don't. It literally is just like, hey, do you remember Captain America? Remember how for the past 7 years, when was fucking Endgame? 19. Remember how for the past 7 years we've been building up that Falcon, what's his name, is the new Captain America, and that it was like, it's a really tough and uncomfortable truth because no one gives a fuck about him and everyone wants Steve Rogers, and it's a tough thing, but you got handed the shield by Captain America. You're the next Captain America, okay? Remember all that? Anthony Mackie, remember all that stuff? No one liked it, so we're tossing it out the fucking window. We're bringing back Steve Rogers, baby. Presumably alternate universe Steve Rogers, so he doesn't look like Joe Biden. And he's back. Man, we all missed him, didn't we? Yep, we sure did. Here, he's back. Thank goodness he's back. Now I'll buy a ticket because he brought my boy back. Chris Evans, $40 million later, decided to resurrect his superhero that he vowed to leave dead. And now he's back. Can't wait. Also, the X-Men one is less bad, I guess, because they're introducing X-Men to the MCU, which I guess is theoretically interesting. Or reintroducing after Deadpool. Is Deadpool going to show up in these movies? Yes. But doesn't he totally fuck with everything, him being fourth wall breaking? Yes. Are they going to have Deadpool in there and not break the fourth wall? No, you can't. Okay, so then how do you use him? He's like a fucking nuclear bomb for your script. He makes everyone remember that they're watching a movie. That's his whole thing. How do you have the other characters react to him breaking the fourth wall? They don't react. They're characters. Interesting. Okay. You do see my point, though, that it's like confusing and awkward and strange. Doctor Strange? No. Just regular Strange. Hadn't thought of it. We'll see how that goes. I don't know. I can see that being a fucking train wreck, but he's got to be in there because he's in the MCU and he's a very popular character. He's one of the few billion-dollar receivers that we have left in this MCU of ours. And despite all of my misgivings, I think Infinity War is great, and I think Endgame is pretty great. And, you know, with the insane, ridiculous amount of setup that these two movies require to appreciate, it's a fucking feat, man. It's very impressive to bring it home as successfully as they did. So with all that said, I'm looking forward to these next ones. And I'm willing to give the Russos the benefit of the doubt again, because they've done it once. I think it's pretty much the same team for these next ones. So therefore, maybe they'll do it again, you know? Perhaps they'll do it again. You never know, they could. Or it could be a fucking big pile of shit. Either way, they're hard resetting after these movies. After these movies, I think they're like, are you going to stop making Spider-Man movies? No fucking way you do that, you liar. Okay. They're going to hard reset like the general MCU thing, and they're just going to start making X-Men movies apparently. But I can't imagine them stopping with Tom Holland, and I don't know. We'll see. We shall see, sloppers. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you guys for listening. I really appreciate it. And stay safe, be good, be well. I will see you guys in 7 days' time. Goodbye.